but I was told, Mayor Harmon, that you went for a walk and didn't see any needles. I would invite you to take a walk with me tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock. I'll meet you anywhere you want. I found them from the start of Washington Street by International Paper all the way up to the dam on Broad Street. I then went South Main Street all the way back to Ruper's Lighthouse Liquor and down below. Needles everywhere. I can find them, and I can find camps, homeless camps. I took pictures of them. Public Works, I'm assuming, goes down Bonnie Park, cleans out the big rubbish, right? Takes a leaf blower. And so now you go down there in these vacant dirt plots where the tents used to be, and if you pay attention and you look, you can see them sticking up everywhere, needles, all the way down to the river, all the way all around. And now it's all junkies, and it's all needles. Kids used to go fishing down there. Kids don't go fishing down there. There's a couple of places over here by the dam on Washington Street side that are beautiful, picturesque. I mean, beautiful, but you can't go there. It's full of Narcan, trash, needles, and camps. The more you invite here, the more you have. You want to help them kill themselves? It's not on me, it's on you.
I'm shocked that we are trying to do something that has been proven in the state of Maine, looking at Portland, Bangor, Augusta, Sanford, all over the state of Maine. You see this program has failed, has miserably failed all over this state. Why would we even consider bringing this to Auburn? We see it across the river in Lewiston. How many people do you see in a comatose state standing there, slumped over, whatever they are? You drive through downtown Lewiston. You used to see people walking around. What you see now is homeless and drug addicts. And I actually saw a open-air drug deal on the corner of Lisbon Street and Main Street just this weekend. Is that what we really want here in the city? I don't understand what would possess people. And for me personally, my own personal opinion is each and every one of you is criminally and civilly responsible. I just don't understand it. I don't understand how we can even consider it. It's an illegal act. It's illegal drugs. And we are now providing the paraphernalia talking about providing the paraphernalia for an illegal activity. I hope you guys say, stop, no.
In zombie-like states, it was complete chaos and heartbreaking to witness. If your programs worked, why do you keep adding more? Why do we see more addiction, more homeless, more mental health crisis, more overdoses, more needles, more illnesses? I, along with other residents at the senior housing complex just 30 feet from the drop-in center, see the impact on Wednesdays and Saturdays. People so high they barely can walk, standing in zombie-like states, frequent overdoses, and those with mental illnesses screaming and fighting in the parking lot and the grass. Adding a needle exchange program will only worsen the chaos for all Auburn residents, making the situation even more unstable and adding more hassle for our city responders.
I work in Portland. It's almost unrecognizable down there now. When I go to work, my guys and I have to kick needles out of the way to get into our building. So we got to worry about, rising localized crime, more loitering and public substance use, increased panhandling, a decline in neighborhood safety, and less comfort for residents in parks or sidewalks and near places where children should feel safe. Compassion should never mean enabling harm. Today, Auburn has an opportunity to take a stand. We can be the first municipality to say, no, not here, and set a precedent that maybe others could follow. Not out of cruelty, but out of courage.
Syringe service programs are not safe, not compatible with our neighborhoods, and not something Auburn should ever allow. Exactly why Auburn must be proactive and not reactive. We should not wait for needle litter to appear in our parks or for drug activity to increase near a licensed site or for a tragedy like the one in Lewiston where former City Councilor Rin Sol was stabbed by a discarded needle to happen here. We've seen what's happened in Lewiston. Auburn does not want to become a Lewiston. We do not want needles in our parks, our trails, and our business districts, and anywhere near our homes or schools.
While being in my backyard with company, all of a sudden a drug addict appeared. I didn't know even what was happening at first. This woman was strung out. After she was already done destroying my backyard, my garden, trying to get in my chicken coop and every other thing, that I was terrified. Don't think that this is not going to happen to anywhere that you live either. The more drugs that come into this town, the more drug addicts we have. I was so, this happened months ago. I remember telling my class and my students about it. Hey, Mrs. Chapman, how was your weekend? I'm like, well, let me tell you a little story what happened to me. Some of these kids shared their stories of how they see drug addicts. Do you think that they should be telling these kinds of stories? So now you're gonna say, okay, here you go, we're gonna pass a syringe service for you kids. Have fun. That's on you.
For somebody who also has worked into Portland until very recently, I can tell you the needle waste is insane. And you're lying to yourself if you don't think it's going to happen here. I parked in a parking garage for 15, 20 years right off of Congress Street. 511 Congress Street was our office until we just closed it recently. And I can tell you, once COVID hit and Maine switched to the 100-to-1 ratio, needles were everywhere. I would park in the morning at 8 a.m. There'd be 20 or 30 needles in the stairwell. Like that was every day I went into the office. That's what it had. So I want to be very clear when we talk about evidence and facts and studies. You can look at Portland. They're starting to do a needle buyback program, which is ridiculous now. Lewiston's been an abject failure in terms of theirs. I believe the guy that was running it over there OD'd, right? After all the assurances that they weren't using it on premise and blah, 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 right? So, I just want to be very clear. I think this is a bad idea. It should be put on moratorium. It's frankly, foolish to think otherwise.
And I'm from Lewiston, and I just wanted to come out and speak to you tonight about what's happening across the bridge. I'm sure you've all heard it's a disaster. They call it harm reduction, and that can't be further from it. It's not. It is destroying our economy. It's discouraging the public from coming out and enjoying our parks. It's when you're not requiring individuals to bring back their dirty syringes, they're going to end up on the ground. You're expecting individuals that are in deep, deep addiction to make reasonable choices, and it's just not going to happen. So when you have a government program that's handing out paraphernalia to use illegal lethal drugs, and they follow up with a Narcan, what's that telling you? This is what we're teaching our kids. So I'm just here to really hopefully encourage you all to vote this down. You will regret it.
I'm a taxpayer. I don't want my money spent this way. I'm against this program, 100%. Stop acting entitled to the taxpayer, me. These people pay their taxes, they're responsible citizens, and it's a free-for-all spending our money. Stop spending our money so foolishly. And what about if my grandkid goes out and gets a needle, stab, and gets something from a needle? What about the people that are responsible paying taxes? Where's the common sense? Do better. Just stop.
And doesn't giving people needles bring drugs into the city so that our police department has to fight more drugs being brought into the city? Our city, they need something to put in their needles. So somebody's selling drugs, so somebody's going to bring more drugs into our city. So there's something to put in those needles. Makes no sense. We need to be safer. I don't like to go to Lewiston anymore. I'm worried. A, I'm going to get shot. B, walk around, go down to eat on Lisbon Street. No, it's not safe. I don't want that to be for my city. My city's supposed to be safe. It's supposed to be a good place to live, and it is. But if we do this, it's not. It's just harming anything that we have in this city. We don't need to have drug addicts. We need people that want to live and have a good life. We don't need to invite people that want to do drugs. Thank you.
There's nobody that wants more drug addicts here. But now when we put 2 brick and mortar locations up that people can go out and get grants to put their business here, we're creating an incentive to bring them here. The other thing, just a couple other things that very concern me about the ordinance. Kids can't drink till they're 21. But this ordinance is going to allow us to give needles to kids that are 18. Whose house are we going to put these programs next to? Whose neighborhood? Are you guys going to volunteer to have these next to your house? Whose house? Because I don't want it next to mine. Everybody knows why they don't want it next to theirs. Who's volunteering to put them up next to their house? You call something that's evil, good words, it doesn't make it less evil. Giving people tools of their destruction is evil. You're inviting evil into your society, and it's wrong.
Which, whatever we've heard regarding Maine law requiring an ordinance, Maine law does not require that we allow a 1 to 100 needle exchange. So just to be clear on that, Auburn, if it passes an ordinance that would allow up to that, is stepping way outside the bounds. Well, you know what? A needle exchange, putting our kids at risk in the streets, sidewalks, and parks of Auburn, that will turn people out. And most people haven't even heard about this proposed ordinance yet. And yet, this is the turnout that we get from just the folks that are plugged in. Wait until you hold a vote and it makes the press. Let's learn from the mistakes that other municipalities have made and hard pass on a needle exchange like this. We are seeing an increase in HIV, not a decrease. Maine citizens, Auburn citizens, we want clean, safe streets and parks. But I am wondering how many of you got phone calls from your constituents asking you to pass this ordinance? Because I don't think that you did. And I don't think that this passes the straight face test.